Welcome back to Best Slope Bronco. We're on our way home from Moab. Welcome back to Best Slope Bronco. We're on our way back from the Bronco off Rodeo in Moab. Which we call Moab.
We do call Moab.
It's more fun that way. And we decided it'd be a good idea to make a video since it's a little bit of a drive, not too long for us. We'll be back home in less than 3 hours now. We thought it'd be a good idea to rate on our own particular scales the various trails that we've done so far. So, what are we going to start off with?
First up, I think we go in order.
Yeah, I think we go in order.
So the first one we did was Engineer Pass, rated 2 on the app.
On the what?
On the trail app or whatever.
Oh yeah, the Bronco trail app.
Trail thing.
Right. Rated a 2 in difficulty out of 5. We found out, by the way, that in Moab they rate trails on a scale of 1 to 10, which I think is probably a better rating system. It gives you a little bit more idea of differences between trails.
Lets it be a little more nuanced.
Right. So Engineer Pass rated a 2. I might call it like a 1.5.
Agreed.
I didn't think it was all that hard. There were some shelf roads that were a little
puckery.
Yeah, like if you had to pass somebody. We were up early enough in the morning and we really didn't have too many people to pass. So I would call it a 1.5.
Agreed.
Okay, that's fair.
Speaking of pucker, one of our fun rating skills is the pucker factor.
Right, the pucker factor is, well, just like it sounds. How much do your orifices shrink while you're driving it? I didn't think it was that much. There might have been one spot that was maybe a 3 or a 4, and that was that kind of last shelf road before you get to the summit sign. But other than that, I didn't feel like it was all
that puckery. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think average pucker would probably be like 2 or less.
Yeah, for sure.
With a spike of 3 to 4 because of that one spot. Yeah.
Yeah. And our last ratings scale is what we call the BB scale, which stands for
The Boobie Bouncer.
Boobie Bouncing.
Yep.
And that all ties back to, as we've said, a Jeep that we saw with a sticker across the front that said Boobie Bouncer. So how much, I can't rate the Boobie Bouncing factor because I don't have boobs.
I can.
So how would you?
On our Boobie Bouncer scale, by the way, is a scale of 1 to 10, as is our pucker factor scale.
Right.
Just to give you an idea. So Boobie Bounce, I think, probably like 5. It got a little bouncy, but not like, ladies, you got me. Not like painful bouncy, but like, there's some wiggling and jiggling happening. Yeah.
All right, on to number 2.
Miller Creek Loop and Hay-Flat.
Which is really 2 different trails, but we didn't really figure that out until later that we were on Hay-Flat. But we went on both of them on the same day. Also rated a 2 by the Bronco Trail app. And I don't know. I think that was probably our most fun trail so far. The ones that we've done together.
Yeah. I don't think it's our most fun trail, but I think that trail was pretty easy. Like by and large, a 1. Maybe a couple of spots that had a 2, and maybe that's why they rated the way that they do, like based on the highest obstacle rating. There was that one part that was a little bit. I mean, the mud.
There were
the mud crossings.
Yeah, there were some mud crossings that you probably could avoid. I don't know, the one you probably can't avoid. Yeah. But the bigger one, the scarier one, we were able to drive around. So I don't know. I would say I'm going to rate it as high as I rated Engineer Pass, and I'm going to say it's a 1.5.
Perfect.
And I've got a little extra perspective here because I did a tougher trail at the off Rodeo that had a lot lot more difficult obstacles than I was used to. So maybe there's a little bit of realizing that the trails we've done so far together haven't been all that challenging.
Yeah.
So what was the pucker factor? Like, I don't even remember any puckers except, when you're going through the mud, you're not quite sure if you're going to make it.
Right. Like 3.
Yeah, I would say. And we got through it okay, though.
Yeah. But overall, I think not very puckery.
Yeah, not very puckery. It was still fun. I thought that was where I had the most fun.
And Boobie bouncing, like, it's just not that much bouncing to be had.
Right. Yeah.
So it's good. Next up is Hagerman, which we've done twice.
Now we did it twice because we had some friends that thought might enjoy the ride. Also, I was trying to get my friend to buy a Bronco. I don't think it worked, but
Try. All right. So Hagerman's rated a 1.
Yeah, that's considered easy, and I think it was just as challenging as Engineer. I don't know, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think it probably could stand to be rated a 2.
The thing it didn't have that Engineer does have is the shelf roads. I didn't think that there was one part maybe that was a little sticky, but other than that, there weren't really any shelf roads. And so maybe that's the reason that it's not rated quite as high. I'm just not that worried about shelf roads because we go early enough that we hardly see that many people. So
yeah.
Pucker factor.
I think 4. On some of those where, like, the ones where we knew our tires came up, yeah, it's definitely a pucker moment.
Well, and you filmed the one where I was coming up the hill, and the tire. I didn't know the tire was in the air. Without the stabilizer bar disconnect, that's going to happen because you don't get as much travel in the suspension.
Yeah. Do you agree, pucker factor 4?
Pucker, yeah, I think when it's the first time it happens and you know it happened. When we came down into that divot where the drainage pipe was, and you realize, oh, the back tire is up in the air, that'll give you a little pucker the first time. It wasn't as bad the second time when we had our friends, and I knew it was up in the air, and I stopped to tell them, hey, the tire's up in the air. So it wasn't bad the second time.
Yeah,
the first time it happened.
The wrong place to get a video of that.
Too bad, so sad.
So sad. All right, Boobie bounce. A solid 6 on that one. That one was a Boobie bouncer.
Yeah, there are a couple spots with some sort of rocky terrain right on the trail, but it's not something you need to go slow through necessarily. So we were going kind of fast through there. And there was some Boobie bounces. What about on the part that's kind of off the trail where we were going to Ivanhoe Lake? Was that giving you?
Yeah, we were bouncing Boobies all over.
Okay. Yeah, I was doing about 35, and it was pretty fun. So.
All right, last but not least, Ofer.
Ofer Pass.
Ofer Pass.
Which we were pronouncing wrong for a long time.
Yes, we were.
Ofer is rated 2, and I think it is way overrated in terms of difficulty. I'm going to say it's the easiest one we've done. I'm going to call it a 1.
Oh, all right. I think it's probably, I think it was not any easier than Miller Creek, which you said was rated 2 and you liked 2, correct?
Yeah. Well, what was it that you would rate it higher than a 1?
I don't know. There was a couple little turns in there that were a little sketchy.
Yeah, I guess there was the big hairpin, which you drove, by the way. She drove the hardest part of Ofer.
And there's that long stretch where it's like if another car comes, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, if another vehicle comes the other way, you're not going to be able to pass each other. So somebody's going to have to back up, and you might have to back up a substantial distance.
Right.
But if you go early, you're not going to.
We did.
Yeah, you're not going to face that.
The nice thing about that road is it's not like it surprises you with someone coming up on you, because that stretch is a long stretch, and you can see if there's another car coming from
advantage. So
That is an advantage.
even if you're not super early, you at least know a ways off if you're going to have to wait.
Yeah. All right, pucker factor. I give that one a 2. I didn't really pucker much at all.
I only had a pucker on, there's a little bit of a drop before the hairpin turn, which leads you onto that long shelf road. And when you came down, it was a little hairy, but so I would say probably a 3 on that part. But the trail overall is way lower.
He was just worried that it was only a 3 because I was the one driving number.
That's not true.
Boobie bounce, I would give it a 4. There's definitely like to go through that long shelf road part is like
Pretty bouncy.
yeah, it's basically just rocks. It's like a scree field that you drive over.
Right. So there was a lot of that. So what do you call on the Boobie bounce?
Like 4.
A 4 on the BB.
4 on the BB scale.
Now, I guess our last rating is, I just got done with the off-rodeo yesterday in Moab, and I have to tell you, it was such a great experience. If you're a Bronco owner and you haven't scheduled your off-rodeo yet, do it. Make sure you schedule it when you know you're going to be able to go. So if you have to change, they're going to charge you an extra couple $100. Now, we debated spending $500 to bring Allison along, and I have to say that it might be worth it.
We didn't do it.
We didn't do it. I think she's still a little mad about that.
I'm not mad. I had some like post FOMO, right? So I missed out, and I was saying after the fact that I missed out because it sounded so freaking cool.
And it was freaking cool.
But leading up to it, I was fine with skipping it. Like, no problem. I don't need to spend $500 on that. But now I kind of wish I had. Just based on how much he liked it.
The only thing that would have been a drawback if you came was I got to be solo in the lead Bronco with the guide, and I got tons and tons of extra tips that I don't think anybody else got. And so that seems like the way to go, but it would have been, maybe we could have just, because that costs extra. I was just thinking if there was a way to sign you up solo yourself. But, so I think off-rodeo is definitely awesome. One of the guides said that fewer than 3% of Bronco owners have taken on their off-rodeo. So I can't imagine why. Maybe it's just hard to make the trip. So if you bought a new Bronco and you still can make your reservation, reserve it and do it. No
And
matter
bring your
how long
wife.
you've been. And bring your wife. Or girlfriends. Or whatever. So I think that's it for Best Slope Bronco today. We will do a Moab video. We only got to do, or I only got to do, I guess. I only got to do the off-rodeo, but I think given how close Moab is, we'll be back and we'll do a proper video because we didn't get to do anything in our Bronco this time around. So, that said, I think we're going to have Best Slope Bronco signing off.
We're out.